Ready to get an unstoppable behind the back dribble? Today I'm going to show you keys to master your behind the back, tips to take it next level fast, and some drills to master it. Coach Jesse Minchin with Get Handles Basketball, where I show you how to play like the pros. If that's something you're looking to do, make sure you click that subscribe button and that little bell icon to get on that notification squad. So the very first tip I've got for you, and this is huge, is to not drop the basketball on that behind the back. A lot of times what I'll see players do is they'll either just push it real soft over here and now they have to look to the side to find out where the basketball went, or they'll have their hand come under, which is a carry, and then they'll drop it like this. Both of those are not gonna get the job done in a game situation. You gotta put some power onto it, okay? So there's three kinds of behind the backs. The main one I'm gonna cover first of all though is the flat back or stationary behind the back. Now you can do this from the move, but typically you're gonna stop to go into that behind the back and then change directions. The key tip on it though is that you put some pop on that dribble. Other key tip I got for you is to slap the same side butt as the hand that has the basketball. So if the left hand's dribbling, I would slap the left side of my butt on that release, get some good power on it. The basketball then will end up in the same spot every time, and I don't have to look for the basketball. Third key tip, get the second hand that's going to be catching the dribble waiting down low. That's another reason players have to look for the basketball over here, and now it's not as effective, it's slower, all that, right? It's because they have their hand up here waiting to see where the basketball is, and then they finally get control over it again. If you can get your hand on it here, it gives you more of this motion as it's coming into this hand to get that chance to get control over the basketball, and then also gives you those options to go into another move from there more quickly and be able to react. I've got a couple drills to help you master this version of the behind the back. Click that like button if you're digging the video so far. This first drill might actually seem kind of weird. You're gonna need a wall for it. If you don't have a wall, that's fine. You can use the next drill and that'll still help you a bunch. But this drill is gonna help you get in the habit of getting some good pop on that drill. You will never have a good flat back, stationary behind the back if you don't get in that habit. All we're gonna do is have our body sideways to the wall. We're gonna bounce the basketball like a bounce pass, but we wanna make sure it's landing right in between our two legs behind us here and come off the wall. Get it back, dribble, and repeat. Dribble, repeat, dribble, repeat. And then you can start working your way out a little further from the wall to work on getting that power. And then of course you would rep it out going the other way, right? So next drill will help you get it down more on the move and work on also catching it with that opposite hand. That's obviously a key part. All you're gonna do is start from the top of the key. You're gonna work your way to the elbow, stop with that behind the back, pound it hard, catch it in this hand, and then work your way across the lane to this second mark here, okay? Pop it hard, work your way down to the third mark. Pop it hard, work your way to this last big block, come in for a layup. Then from there, you're gonna do the same thing, just going the other way. So starting from the top of the key, elbow, second mark, third mark, big block, get a quick little bank shot in. So there's two more ways to do the behind the back dribble. These are gonna be a little bit better options for trying to cover some more ground directly from the behind the back and to not really stop your momentum. The first one is the wrap behind the back with the 1-2 step. You're gonna wrap it more forward. So the first version, it was more flat to your body, almost like a regular crossover motion. This one, you're gonna wrap it so it comes more forward. The footwork is also gonna be different. When you do the dribble, to do it with the 1-2 step, whichever hand's dribbling, that same side foot's gonna come forward at the same time, and then you're gonna get it with that second step. It's gonna look kind of like this. Key tips to get it down. Number one, for the first behind the back, we talked about how you want to slap same side butt, right? For this one, you want to slap opposite side. So left hand to right side butt. Again, that will make it more consistent. Also focus on having your fingers curl in a little bit when they release the basketball. And with this one, it's not going to be as much of a pound dribble, but at the same time, do not get in the habit of just dropping it like that. That's the kind of the behind the back that I see a lot of players do that isn't effective in games. So you want to make sure you're getting a little bit of a pop on it, but it's not going to be as hard as the stationary behind the back. The footwork is key and wrapping it forward is key. Now on this one, most NBA players, if you watch them when they do it, they do look down for a second to get the basketball, because in this behind the back, you have to kind of let the ball go on its own for a second, right? That's what allows you to cover the ground forward. So you gotta keep in mind, when you're doing this in game situations, you can't do it when there's defenders around here, right? There's a whole bunch of defenders here, and I have to look down and I can't see where they are. That's gonna be a problem, right? So you wanna make sure you have that open court to work with if you're gonna do this version. For the first drill, we're gonna come back to the wall, but we're gonna change our body positioning. Since we're working on wrapping it and coming forward, we're gonna have our body facing towards the wall. And all we're gonna do is that right there. Dribble it, wrap it forward, dribble, wrapping it forward. That'll get you in the habit of getting a good pop on the dribble, even though you're wrapping it, and get in the habit of pushing it more forward. Further from the wall is gonna be more difficult. Closer to the wall is gonna be a little bit easier. Okay, so one of the big benefits of this behind the back is that you can cover some ground, right? So this drill is gonna be really fun and help you develop that aspect. All you're gonna do is start from half court. If you don't have a court to work with, you can kind of just set out a certain length, but you wanna be able to cover some ground with this, okay? And you're gonna count your dribbles. That's all you're gonna do. When you're starting off, you'll wanna do it one regular dribble, wrap behind the back, one regular dribble, wrap behind the back, and try to get to the hoop for a layup in as few behind the backs as possible. And the fewer dribbles you're taking for that behind the back, odds are you're covering more ground on those behind the backs to get to the basket quickly. Once you get a little more advanced, you could even try to take things next level with your ball control by just going wrap, 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 all the way down. But that's for when you get a little bit more advanced with it. The third behind the back kind of brings in elements of both the previous two. Kind of gives you a little bit more protection while allow you to cover some ground. It's gonna be like your flat back behind the back, but you're gonna add a shuffle and a little bit more of a wrap. It's sort of in between. Key tip I can give you is, for this one, again, try to have your hand slap opposite side butt, but you're gonna shuffle your feet to stay in front of the basketball with your body. That's a key point. It's gonna look kind of like this, okay? The shuffle for your feet is exactly like your defensive shuffle. The only thing that you might wanna change with it is, I do see a lot of players, like Kyrie does this a ton. When he'll do it, sometimes he'll have his feet kind of cross. I know a lot of coaches say your feet should never cross, but you can cover more ground by allowing your feet to cross. But the key tip to pay attention to is that before this foot comes to the ground, whether it's in front or behind, make sure that this foot pops off the ground before this one lands. So like that. If you have it hit the ground first, yeah, now you might trip up over your own feet. But if you don't, it allows you to cover more ground while keeping that basketball protected. This one you'll also want to add a little bit more pop on the dribble. Again, this kind of blends a little bit of the two previous behind the backs, so it's not really completely a wrap, it's not completely a flat back, and the footwork is a lot different. For this one, I only got one drill for you. It's super simple. It's basically the same as the one that we did before with the full wrap behind the back to come to the basket in as few dribbles as possible. The only difference is you're gonna use this other behind the back, the shuffle behind the back, okay? So shuffle, dribble, shuffle, dribble. Try to get to the hoop in as few dribbles as possible. Once again, if you can get this down with that shuffle dribble and covering a lot of ground, this is gonna be a great option to put into your game for a consistent basis as far as the behind the back you do, because again, you had that protection while still allowing you to cover ground. Now, if you found this video helpful and you want to take your handles to an insane level, make sure you click that top link in the description down below. That's a 100% free ball handling workout called the Defender Destroyer workout. That's already helped thousands of players. I'm sure it'll help you too. Just click that link, pop in your email, and I'll send that to you instantly for free. And if you found this video helpful, make sure you check out this video and this playlist. You're gonna dig those as well, I'm sure of it. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more and make moves today.